Back to MGD 111 Photoshop. We're going to continue with typography here. So we have our image here. It's saved as a PSD now. We have a layer of type. I want to add some additional type to this. So best thing to do is to just click on another tool that just sort of clears the process. And we're going to click on the type tool again. And we're going to click somewhere else on the picture that's not inside this text box. I'm just going to click down here. And you'll see I get a flashing cursor again. So I've created a new text box, and you will see in the layers palette there is now a new layer 1. So I'm just going to type some new text here. It'd be useful if I could spell. What year is this? 2014. Now, you'll notice that it started typing in the spot where I put it. Usually it's very hard to precisely put the text where you want it on the first try, so it's no big deal. The other thing too is you'll notice it used the same exact specs as we used in our last type. It will automatically default to whatever type you last used, your font, your size, your color, your style, etc. So if I just highlight this text, I can go up here and just pick a different typeface. You'll notice I picked one called Impact here, and regular is grayed out. Now why is that? Well, some fonts don't have different styles. Impact is one where there's only one option for that particular font. So now we're going to try to move this into position here. And this is a case where having your rulers is sort of a useful thing. You can see it's measuring where my cursor, or where I've put the cursor and where I move it. So I can kind of use this to line things up. I can also use my guidelines to help line things up in the picture too. But sort of getting ahead of myself here. Let's highlight the text again. I'm going to change the size. Make it about 30 point maybe. Let's give it a different color here. And I'm going to deselect it. Excuse me. The easiest way to deselect your text is just to click on a different tool like the rectangular marquee. I like to use that one. And again, I can just move my type around. Now, I'm going to make it overlap here. You'll notice this type is in front of the previous type. The reason for that is this is the way it stacks the layers. We have the background first, which is the bottom layer. That's why they show it this way. Ron Summer Vacation, which is the next type that we put. And then San Francisco 2014 above it. So anytime we add a new text box, we add a new type layer. Cool thing about layers, we'll learn this in a different lesson, but just as a reminder, this eyeball here tells us that we can see or not see a layer. So it's easy for us to hide a layer temporarily if we want. And also, if we decide that we want this vacation layer in front, we can just grab that layer and move it in the palette above, and now it's in front. So now we've got a couple of type layers here. Let's say I want to edit this San Francisco one. What do I do? Well, a couple things. First of all, I need to make sure I'm on the right layer. So I can go to my layer palette and click on San Francisco 2014. And now anything that I do will affect that particular layer. So if I want to move it or whatever. Cool thing about the type tool though, I'm going to select the type tool. If I just click inside a type box, it automatically takes me to that layer. Watch, right now I'm in the Ron Summer Vacation layer. If I click, if I deselect, and then I click on the letter here again, and I click on the text below it here, you'll notice it picked that layer too. So it's kind of easy to pick those out, but really the easiest way is to pick it out from here. So what can we do with this type? Well, again, we can move it around as much as we want. We can change the styles as much as we want. Just make it all look exactly perfect the way we want it to, up until a certain point. Because there is a point where these layers are going to have to be smushed into the background. And when that happens, we cannot edit the type anymore. So it's very crucial that we get this type the same, the exact color, size, font, positioning, everything before we proceed with anything else. So let's save our file here again, and we will continue to work with this file, so keep it open.